Hey everybody, it's Malik again, and welcome back to the channel. Sorry I've been gone for a while. I did post 3 videos just right before Christmas. 2 of them on ways to get into Windows if you forgot your administrator password, and then one of the top 12 hacks of history. Um, but we have completed a vast majority of the challenges on Hack the Site. And I ran across this site quite a while ago and decided, you know what, let me go ahead and try these out too. So, I've been playing with Pen Test Labs and all for a while, but I wanted to try these out. So the site is just hackthis.co.uk. I just created this account, and I've just been doing the main levels. See, I've only done 5 of them. I'm going to do these 5 with you, and then we'll do 6 together. They're not incredibly difficult right now, but I'm sure they're going to get pretty complex because we do have Basic Plus, we have Intermediates, we have some JavaScripting, some sequels, cryptography, which are cool, CAPTCHAs, which I haven't done a lot of work with. So that one, they're going to be tough for me. Digital forensics, and then even some pretty decent amount of realistics. 8 overall realistics. So we'll run through these, and you rack up points when you do them also. So we'll do these together. I am in the process of rebuilding my virtuals. Right now I've just got Kali set up, Windows 7, Windows 8.1. I do have the ISO for Windows 10, Server 2012, Server 2016, Ubuntu, Android. I think that's it. I'm going to get all those installed. I do have the DVWA set up on Windows 7, ready to be hit. And I'm going to work on a couple other databases too. So once we get these all nice and built, we'll start doing some more complex things like SQL Map. Pulling database names and table names and information out of tables using SQL Map or a couple other injections, probably the MSF console, incognito. So we'll go there. But if you like the channel, remember, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you know whenever I post a video up. And there is always a donate button down there. YouTube constantly keeps changing their policies to where you can't even monetize videos now unless you have at least 1,000 subscribers, and I'm sure they'll change that once I hit 1,000. So anyway, so let's take a look at some of these levels. Excuse me. These first ones are pretty straightforward. So they're just asking for a username and password. Now this site is a little bit different from Hack This Site. You really don't need me to walk you through these because they do have hints and they do have a forum which will pretty much tell you the answer. But knowing the answer and understanding the answer are 2 separate things. Again, these first couple really take no explanation. So we need a username and a password. Well, to save you some time, I've tried to click this Submit button to do a null entry. Doesn't work. Need something in there. So typically the next step you're always going to do is to view the page source. So I'm just going to view the page source. And instead of having to scroll through all this stuff, I am just going to search for password. Well, much like the idiot test on Hack This Site, it's right in the comments line. Username in, password out. So, let's go ahead and let me close some of these windows I have open. Username in, password out. There we go. Always check the source code. You're probably not going to be lucky enough to find the username and the password, but the source code can give you a ton of information. Alright, let's go to level 2. Again, username and password. Well, let's use the source. And again, let's search for password. Okay, so there's password, but that's just the label. Well, does it appear anywhere else? There. Anywhere else? Alright, they're the only two spots. But they've done something a little bit different. Okay, to understand this line, there's a label. There's username. That's the label. That's what you actually see on the page. That's what that is. Okay. Well, it says the label for user. Alright, so that's the variable, is user. And then they have this. Now, that's the important part. Beside it, they have color 0000. Okay, that's red, that's green, that's blue. The mixture of those colors give us all of our web save colors. Well, 000000 is black. Well, if you notice, the page is black. And then they got this, RESU, and down here with password they have SSAP. Well, if you take a look at the page, it's right there. It's just hidden. That's the username, and that's the password. So RESU and SSAP. Now, I haven't seen that done with username and passwords before, but I have seen it done by some administrators to hide a link on a page even with a white background. They'll put it in white text. The link will be somewhere over here in the corner, somewhere where you normally wouldn't roll your mouse because there's no text there, like way down here at the bottom, or maybe a space between two letters or something like that. It's an invisible link to take you to a page that you shouldn't get to, and that's their way of getting there without having to remember a URL. And you will only see that by taking a look at the page source. So, again, always look at the page source if you're attacking a page. Alright, let's go to level 3. Again, username, password. Let's view the source. Okay. Label for password. Input type password, autocomplete is off. ID, password, name, password. And the submit button. Okay. So, nothing there. Anything anywhere else? Okay, they're the only two passwords. Alright, well, let's see what happens when we submit it. Well, we get an incorrect login. We get a dialog box. Okay, let's view the page source again. Again, it's always good to click the submit button to see what happens. I didn't do it in the first couple, and all it does is it doesn't give us a dialog, it just pops up on the screen that says, incorrect login. This one actually gives us a dialog box. So there was nothing under the keyword of password, but remember, when we type something in the username field and the password field, it gets validated. Well, we just failed the validation, and when we failed it, it told us incorrect login. So let us just take a look for the word login. Okay, there we go, incorrect login. So let's see what this line says. Alright, it's a JavaScript. There's the function for the submit button. Okay. If in the document the element that they called user, if the value explicitly equals heaven, excuse me, and the document element that they called pass, if the value equals hell, let us in. Else, throw an alert, incorrect login. Alert is the JavaScript command for a dialog box. So there's our username, there's our password. Because it says if it matches that, let us in, else throw the alert. So, heaven and hell. It's thinking. There we go. Again, doesn't matter if it's HTML code or JavaScript. If it's done, it's done. If it's in the code, we're going to be able to see it. It doesn't matter. And they mention here client-side code. It can be altered or skipped. We could have changed that code to give it a different password or no password to make it a null entry. Okay. Let's do two more. Or we'll go to 6. Again, username, password. Let's just see what happens if we submit. Invalid details. Okay, so let's view the source. Again, let's look for password. And there we go. And there's the other one. Okay. So we have something a little bit different here. We have not only the input for the username and the input for the password and the input for the submit button, but you see there's a new one here. Input type hidden. So don't show on the page, but the name is password file, and here's the value for it. In other words, this is the page right here that validates our credentials. But how do we get to that page? Well, we are going to do a very simple directory transversal. And I'm going to show you, let me bring this over here, where we're at right now. That's where we're at. But what they have here for the value is dot dot forward slash dot dot forward slash extras ssap dot xml. Okay, this right here means back a page. Back a page. And then extras ssap. So, if we go back a page, basically back a level, and then back a level. That takes care of dot dot slash dot dot slash. And let's replace that with extras ssap dot xml. What if we go here? There's our username. There's our password. Don't be fooled by this. This is what we want. That's the variable they're asking for. 999-911. So 999-911. That is a directory transversal. That can happen a lot. You can find your way into folders that you're not meant to be in. Sometimes even completely out of the site, to where you back all the way up to the root, to where you see all the main folders. Again, great thing to look at that you can pull from the source. Let's do two more. It's thinking. Okay. Level 5 is a little different, and it's not asking us for a username, just a password. But it's asking it for us. It's asking it from us in a dialog box, which means we can't view the source. So let's just OK it. Okay, of course, validation has failed. But here, we can view the source. And again, let's just take a look for password. Here we go. We get the here's our variable that they call pass. And here's our pop-up box. Prompt, it says password, and then it's holding nothing in it. And then comes the validation. If pass equals this. Take us to this window. This down here, this div class is basically the else, because that looks like, yes, that's the picture of the sad cat. So this right here is our password. I'm just going to copy it. Now let's see, can we go back? Has it sad? Oh, took us back one too many. There we go. Paste it in. And we did it. Okay, let's do one more. I haven't done this one. See, incomplete. Log in as Ronald to complete this level. Okay, well, we just have John, Peter, David, and Sam. And it's got to say Ronald. Okay, seen these before. Now, we can view the source. We're just going to have an issue with this. Now, let me zoom in. There we go. And let's just go ahead and do a find for password. Alright, there is no password, so let's just look for John. Not the one I want. There we go. So here's our field. They've done something a little bit different this time. Instead of giving us somewhere that we can type in, they gave us a select. So select the ID. There's John. There's Peter. I think there should be Peter. David and Sam. Then the submit button. Well, there's a couple of things we can do, but not right here. See, I can't change anything right here. When you're viewing the source, you can't change it. But what I can do is just right click on it and inspect the element. Now, what I had down here on the bottom, and let me bring this up some. Now this is of course going to be much more tough for you to see, just because of the side to it. So let me kind of show it inside of a separate window. If I'm not mistaken, my plus sign works in here too. It just increases everything. Alright, down here, select ID, and there's my options. Well, what we can do here is just double click John and type in Ronald. Now, I'm going to, let me split it. Bring that back down to the bottom. Oops. Oh, there we go. When I changed it to Ronald inside of here, I can take this out. That's my persistent logs. When I changed it to Ronald right here, it changed it to Ronald right there. See, I can go back in here and change it to Jim. When I click away, see, it changes it to Jim. This is client side. They're letting me change it. Now, let's see how much they allow you to change. See, sometimes it's so wide open, I can even put in a new option. But I don't need to. I have Ronald here. It says Ronald. So if I submit, it should let me in. And it does. That is the problem with client-side validation. You can change stuff. And if you guys were with me on Hack This Site, that was actually one of the I think that was realistic mission number 1, where we had to vote and we could only vote 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, but we had to actually vote more than 5. So it's really just modifying the variables before they are submitted. It's really what we call a tactile, a time of check to time of use. It, when the variables are created, they should not be able to be manipulated before they're submitted, or they should be validated after submission to make sure they haven't been modified. But on client side, they're not. So, big problems for clients. All right, so we got through 6. We got 210 points. Not a bad job. So, and we haven't been working on this thing for 30 minutes. So, we knocked out 6 levels. We'll hit some more maybe tomorrow night. We'll knock out maybe the rest of the mains. Then we'll start going into the basics. I'm sure they're going to start getting much more difficult, but never hurts to keep going through these types of challenges, because you're going to use these even when the challenges get more complex. You're still going to use these to some extent to gather some data to help you complete the more difficult challenges. Even the most difficult challenges typically starts out with a little bit of basic information found right in front of you. So, it's all right, my friends. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Click the notification bell. Let me know if there's anything that you want me to do a video on. I'll be more than happy to do it if I know it. Even if it's more along the lines of teaching a particular topic. I do have some videos out there on Kerberos and on OAuth and the 3-way handshake and the 4-way handshake and the crack vulnerability with WPA2. And so if there's anything like that you'd like to see, definitely pop that in the comments and let me know. I see all the comments. They come right into my emails, and I try to answer every one of them. So again, keep checking the channel. Donate if you can. Tell everybody if you enjoy it. Get the subscription levels up, and maybe we can get to some bigger things that we can all work together as a team to do. Maybe a capture the flag is what I'd really love to pull off. So until next time, my friends, this is Malik, and I'm out.